Nereko, Estambaseko.
Good morning to you all. Good morning, Lagos. Nakwana, Lagos. Just like the Hausa people, we have it. Otutuoma, Lagos. As the Igbo people, we greet it. Ekaro, Lagos. Like the Yoruba people, we greet. And Amesere, like the Akwa Ibom. We actually say good morning in Nigeria. It's Lagos this morning right here on your screen. And yes, it's to me. Okay. And yes, with my partner here.
Yes, my name is Ebuka Ezubika. Good morning to you all watching live on Flip TV this morning. It's Lagos this morning as usual, and we're here to serve you all you need to know concerning things going on politically, entertainment, foreign, and not forgetting sports. Hope you had a swell weekend. Hope your weekend was not as stressful as mine. I don't know if your weekend was stressful.
Oh,
also.
of course it was.
But you enjoyed the weekend.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I enjoyed my weekend also. So many activities to dwell on, and we hope for a fruitful week as it is here on Lagos this morning.
Yes. So you're all welcome to Lagos this morning. Do stay with us.
You know, as well, we do the program every time. We'll start off with stories concerning what is trending on the newspapers, the front pages. So many headlines to give you from different newspapers that are here in Nigeria and also newspapers. Not forgetting, later in the course of the show, look at the basic talking points, the major headlines from these stories we dissect, and also we get your perspective concerning every of the news items we'll be for this morning. And not forget, you keep giving us your comments back. Just follow us that way this morning. So let's get
into the newspaper headlines.
Yep.
Voice of Liberty newspaper. The main headline here is on insecurity, over 10,000 killed, abducted in 10 months, report says. School feeding program, FG to include
Almajiris, yes, from this
then
one.
from Serap, Hoda suits Nubu for appointing APC top INEC officials. Also on the Voice of Liberty newspaper, appeal court sacks Caleb Motwang. Also, president.
Sachs Plateau governor. Is it now of all the governors that have won in this state, the appeal courts sacked many of them, Zamfara, followed by Kano, and right now in two are the outright winners in those elections. Now Mutwang said he's not okay with the decision of the court. Mutwang right now is heading to the Supreme Court. Says judgment is just a temporary setback. A jubilation in APC camp, police won. Then other stories here. Magu breaks silence, says corruption is Nigeria's greatest challenge. I believe already by now. That's Magu, former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. I never appointed Oshun acting CJ. Adeleke writes CJN and NGC. That is more stories here. Petrol price to fall as NNPC imports massively. Ipman assures.
Okay, then I don't miss being president, says Buhari. Also on the first news newspaper, we have NPA goes tough on illegal container stripping, roll out SOP for badge operators. Formula One Gbajabiamila's aides laments 15 months unpaid salaries.
Wow.
15 months unpaid salaries. Also, on the First News newspaper, we have Catholic bishop joins 30 couples at mass wedding in Niger. The fire raises ex-president Shehu Shagari's Sokoto home, destroys valuables. And the LEA rearrest wanted Abuja drug kingpin 7 years after jailbreak.
Wow, that was good.
Chairmanship hopeful praises Sanwo-Olu on Ojokoro roads, youth employment. And yes, these are the headlines we have here on the First News newspaper. To read more on the stories, you can check out the First News newspaper.
All right, let's move on to the Nigerian News Direct. We have the headline there. Affects raises alarm on severe food crisis in Nigeria as food shortage hits 5.7 million metric tons. Forecast 32% rise in cost of rice by 2024. So a happy new year is a happy new price for rice in the country. That you find on Nigerian News Direct, because they say the price of rice by 2024 would increase by 32%. Other stories here. Adeleke denies fighting and battled Chief Judge over Adedoyin's case. You find that there. Moving on to other stories. Appeal Court sacks Mutfwang as Plateau governor. All the stories you find in the Nigerian News Direct. Then Serap, as usual, it's Monday, and every Sunday Serap comes out with cases like this. Now Serap, Board IT, 34 Nigerians drag federal government to court over appointment of APC loyalists as INEC officials. More of the stories you find in the Nigerian News Direct.
Alright, moving on to the Guardian newspaper. Lagos orders caught in fiscal recklessness amid huge legacy debts. And under it we have caustic retirement speeches reflective of discontent in judiciary. Concerns over Tinubu's flurry of appointment reviews. You can find more of that stories on the Guardian newspaper. The A-Court sacks Plateau Gov, asks INEC to withdraw certificates of return. Magu breaks silence after 4 years X-rays corruption war. Amend the CBN Act to isolate it from politics. And under the Guardian newspaper, the below front page, Rivers Bayelsa oil communities lament neglect failure to implement PIA. Top military officers mourn as ex-coas Chris Ali passes at 79.
Moving on right now to other newspapers. Now we'll go to the Punch newspaper. And on the Punch, APC, PDP clash as Appeal Court sacks third opposition governor and Plateau governor's removal. Now, under the rider, you have it there. Court orders INEC to retrieve PDP's certificate of return. Lalong, who is the former governor, hails the judgment. And this is a particular scenario that as it depends there, it is sweet us. As it depends the PDP, it is sweet APC. Moving on, ruling party using judiciary to intimidate and silence opposition. PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, all on this particular plate, saying that the ruling party APC are using the judiciary as a tool to intimidate other parties in the country. More of that story you find on the front page of the Punch newspaper. I don't miss presidency much, says Buhari. That's a major talking point, talking about the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Moving on, inflation jumps 24 times in 25 months. When inflation is jumping 24 times in 25 months, competing with the month, that is an average of one inflation per month, basically, as it is. Service extension, federal government owes 600 teachers 23 months arrears. I still want these teachers to teach with good mind in the schools. So many factors. This is the point when a teacher is teaching, he asks the students 10 plus 10, they say 100. They say you are correct. You are correct. Yes. The only time you'll be wrong is when they pay us our salaries. You are owing teachers 23 months salaries. Federal government owes 600 teachers 23 month salaries. This is coming in. You want to get more information, you have to check the Punch newspaper this morning. Adeleke backtracks on acting CJ, APC knocks governor. So more of the story you find in the Punch newspaper this morning.
Yes, moving on to the Silence Times, which says reactions as appeal court sacks 3 governors in opposition parties within 4 days. That's the main headline on the Silence Times. Also on the Silence Times newspaper, we have NDLEA rearrest convicted drug kingpin 7 years after escape. Wow. Abia man fakes own kidnap, demands 3 million ransom from his family.
He kidnaps himself.
An Abia man kidnapped himself and then demanded
He
3
demanded for
million
ransom.
ransom from his family.
Oh, boom.
Amazing.
Wisdom. Wisdom.
Okay, Motuang adds to Supreme Court says appeal court verdict temporary setback. Resident doctor gave Enugu government 14 days to employ more personnel. Suspects in police net over murder of Offa Poly female students. 4 injured as car crashes into building in Lagos.
Very sad.
And also we have an entertainment news here on the Salient Times is Mohbad's father rejects fresh moves for his son's burial, insists on DNA. I don't miss being president, says Buhari. Buhari mean okay, we'll be looking into that anyways in the course of our program. Icon of democracy, Tinubu celebrates Jonathan at 66. Yes.
And we join everybody too to celebrate presidents, former presidents, Goodluck Ebele, Jonathan. Yeah.
Yes, and that is all we have on the Silence Times this morning.
All right, quickly let's port now to the Vanguard newspaper. Supreme Court rumble in the jungle. But this jungle, we're talking about the jungle in the judiciary. Rumble in the jungle. In judiciary over nomination of justices. More on that particular one. Names of the FGSC's list. Excellent. Professor Akinseye George, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. No cause for alarm. NJC and CJN, based on Supreme Court justices that have been appointed. You find more in the Vanguard newspaper. What Tinubu will force us to do by Bode George, State of the Nation. What Tinubu will force us to do. If you want to understand more, you have to check into the Vanguard to see what Bode George is saying there. Then other stories that we have been giving you already. Appeal court sacking the governor of Plateau State. You also have that here. Moving on to other news stories. If you check down in the Vanguard, declining demand triggers 20% fall in food and beverage production. This is talking about inflation. How inflation has affected us basically in the country. 4 years after, Magu opens up, says corruption is Nigeria's greatest problem. This is the former chairman of the EFCC. 4 years after, he's coming out to tell us that corruption is our biggest problem. My brother, you were put in that office to fight corruption. But right now, you're telling us that corruption is Nigeria's biggest problem. We know these things already. Solutions are what we are asking for. Terror war. Nigeria remains member of multinational joint task force. We're talking about the terror war. Anyways, more of these stories, you check into the Vanguard and you'll find that story this morning.
Okay, we have the Business Day newspaper this morning, which is for Nigeria's cash-strapped states, it's business as usual. And below the front page newspaper, there is 4.2 million Niger folks are securing the bag from yearning their stories online. Amazing. Afrobeat outgrow local fan base on prices show tickets. Afrobeat outgrows local fan base on pricey show tickets. Northwest government seek AFDB's support to unlock agri potential. The NSIA unveils $500 million renewable investment platform partners, IFC. Yes, and that's what we have there on the Business Day newspaper.
All right, I'm moving now to the Nigerian Tribune. That is where we are moving on right now. Persistent inflation, dollarization of economy disturbing. Who is saying this? The governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. Inflation, dollarization of the economy disturbing from Godwin Obaseki there. CJN to inaugurate 58 new SANS November 27 as Supreme Court marks new legal year. This is the new year for all lawyers in the country. Capital market has absorptive capacity to fund infrastructure. Action chairman. Lagos is open for business. The governor of Lagos State, Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, is saying that Lagos is open for business. You see that, or you find out in the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the story concerning just what is going on in Plateau State. Governor being sacked is there. Presidency is saying by next year, Nigeria should be producing enough fuel for domestic consumption. Okay, now it has been moved to next year. All right, next year is not far-fetched. We have, you can count down and say, okay, probably we have 6-7 weeks to the new year because November is rounding off. So they say federal government is saying by next year we should have enough fuel in the country for domestic consumption. All right, Osun, PDP, APC in war of words as Adeleke denies appointment of acting CJ. Shaibu, no zoning formula exists in Edo State. Talking about the Edo elections coming up 2024. More of the story you find on the Vanguard newspaper. Navy destroys illegal refineries. Crude oil in Ondo State. Okay. 7 years after escape from prison, NDLEA arrests wanted Abuja kingpin, drug kingpin. 7 years after he escaped, finally, he has been rearrested. In Pidgin, they go say in fowl, don't lay boiled egg. As I think, you see that story basically in the page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
Yes, let's have this Nigerian newspaper. Banks industry chiefs panic as report on Emefiele ready for submission to president. And the writer says that make frantic moves for soft landing. Over 3 trillion reportedly siphoned through COVID-19 and Anchor browser scheme. And Serap budget eats 34 Nigerians sue Tinubu for appointing APC loyalists as top INEC officials. Osun NBA rejects Adeleke's acting CJ. And on Kano, knocks kudos as embattled governor heads to Supreme Court. Protest rocks Plateau over appeal court sack of Governor Mutfwang. Yes, FCT extends deadline for payment of ground rent to December 14. And then that's all we have on this Nigeria.
All right, and finally, today we have the Inquirer newspaper, the last paper for today. FCTA set to abolish shared C of O. We're talking about the Federal Capital Territory Authority. They are set to abolish shared C of O. Recertification of housing estates to begin. Hope for allottees of area councils and land. Wike indict AGIS in land racketeering. More of that you find in the Inquirer newspaper this morning. NDLEA arrests Abuja drug lord 7 years after jailbreak. Now, the Inquirer newspaper basically talks about things going on or things happening basically in Abuja. So, the last story here, before the courts kill over our democracy. This is like an editorial on the front page there. Before the courts kill over our democracy. If you want to read more, you check the Inquirer newspaper that is out this morning. All right, before we go for a short break, let's read some of the comments that have been coming through this morning. Thank you very much to all of you that are there. Gideon, we see you. Gideon says, good morning, Kofan Ebuka. Good morning, Gideon.
Good morning.
Emma Samuel, Kofan, my party, good morning. Ebuka, my guy, how far?
Good morning, Emma Samuel.
So, I don't understand, like, before you said good morning, it reached my turn, you say how far?
What do you want exactly?
The same good morning. What is good for the goose should be good for Uganda.
Okay.
All right, Hannah Bob. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you too, Hannah Bob. Amarachi Nwachuku. Good morning to you also. Udesi Chima. You're also greeting Mr. Mike there on bystanders. Good morning to you. Also, am I missing any comments there? Yes, Dan. Next year when? I'm very sure it's not January or February. That is why they don't give you dates. It's just next year. So once it's next year, hopefully by next year we'll have a solid date. But for now, just take it that it is next year. Okay.
Yes, yes, and those are headlines from the newspaper front pages. So we'll be going on a quick short break now, and when we're back, we'll be taking our stories one after the other. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.
100 naira eko, extra bus eko.
Yeah, welcome back to Lagos this morning, live here on Flip TV, and we're just done giving you the news headlines as we have there are plenty this morning. You can also share your comments here on the comment section as it is. For now, we are moving straight into some of the biggest stories we have on the headlines this morning. So let us start with these concerning the federal government that are set to release some inmates that are in the prison.
Yes, yes. The federal government has disclosed their plans to release 4,068 inmates nationwide as part of measures to decongest the nation's correctional centers. Speaking of the flag-off ceremony in Abuja, the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji Ojo, said that the program is targeted at indigent inmates who cannot afford to pay their fines. He said the federal government has raised 585 million naira to be used for the payment of fines to secure the release of 4,068 inmates across the federation. According to the minister, the money was raised by corporate bodies and philanthropists for this purpose. Today, we flag off the release of about 4,068 inmates. This is in a bid to decongest custodial centers as well as make them ready for proper reformation and rehabilitation to take place. That's from the minister. The minister also said the initiative was targeted at inmates with fines and compensation that do not exceed 1 million naira, stressing that the government's commitment to transform custodial and non-custodial facilities was initiated to align with international human rights standards and effective correctional practices and was in line with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's vision. Commending the Nigerian Correctional Service for their dedication towards human custody and national security, he said the Ministry of Interior would further collaborate with the Ministry of Justice to tackle the swelling number of awaiting trial inmates in various detention facilities in the country. In attendance at the meeting were the Minister of Justice and heads of anti-corruption agency from all the countries within the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. On his part, the Controller General of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Aliru Nababa, commended the minister for the initiative.
Well, good initiative if you ask
Yeah,
me. We have been complaining of so many things going wrong in the prison services. A lot of overpopulation in the Nigerian prison services. Now look at it. You look at the prisons. The Minister of Interior complained at a point concerning what he found out that so many of these people are awaiting trial. Some of them, just like cases like this, because of they don't have enough money for
Their
fine.
fines.
They are still in jail, and some of them too that have been sentenced to death, they are still waiting for the governors to sign the death certificate, which I don't know why the governors are really stalling on signing the death certificate. If the court of law have pronounced the judgment, I think the necessary steps should be taken in order to decongest our prisons. Now, this one that the minister that you just mentioned, he talked about, I think I like it, but then it's a whole lot of money, over 500 million naira going into
Right, 5 million. Yeah.
this particular cause. Well, he has explained because he knows Nigerians would ask questions. He said it's from philanthropists and also from people that are contributing. Yeah, so he mentioned it so that nobody, because we know Nigerians. This 500 million, hope is not that we went to borrow the 500 million from World Bank, but he said no, it's from philanthropists, people that like to give. And so it's from them, and also good people of Nigeria too that wants to donate. So basically, I think we should start doing more to decongest the prison. The prison is a prison that should be housing at least 200 people. That should be having 200 people as it is. You say the same prisons would be doing what they are. Instead of 200, we have over 500 people in the same prison facilities. So good one from the Minister of Interior. Moving on now to our big story. Court sacks Mufwang as Plateau governor. The appeal court in Abuja has sacked the Plateau governor, Caleb Mufwang. Now, the court, in a ruling on Sunday, the Lady Justice Elfreda Williams Daudu ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to issue a certificate of return to the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC, Netanwe Goshwe. Justice Williams Daudu set aside the judgment of the tribunal, which affirmed the election of the governor Mufwang, describing it as highly incompetent. Now, according to the court, the decision of the tribunal to dismiss the petition filed by the APC and its candidates on the grounds that the duo had no business meddling in the affairs of the People's Democratic Party, on which platform Mufwang was elected, is in its breach of Section 177 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, Section 134, subsection C of the Electoral Act. The court also held that, contrary to the decision of the tribunal, that the issues contained in the petition filed by the appellant were pre-election matters. They were both pre-election and post-election matters and could not have been deemed status barred. Citing Section 177 of the Constitution, the panel noted that Mufwang was not validly sponsored by the PDP during the election. So many post-election shenanigans here going on, and we're seeing how it goes, how it's happening in different states. First, it was Zamfara State, then we had Kano State, now just Plateau State. These are the three states right now that we've had court cases that are swinging the election in favor of the opposition to the ruling party, the APC. Let's see how this goes, though the governor is saying he's going to the Supreme Court, that this is just a minor setback.
All right, moving on to the next story. An HND female student of Kwara Poly was actually murdered, and the Kwara police has arrested one for this. The operative of the Kwara State Police Command have arrested one suspect in connection with the disturbed killing of a higher national diploma HND female student of the Federal Polytechnic of Kwara State, Toyin Bamidele. In a statement that was signed by the State Police Commissioner Victoria Olaiya, the suspect is currently helping police in their investigation. Just as the command expressed its determination to get to the roots of the crime, the 23-year-old female student was allegedly hacked to death in a rented apartment located outside the Polytechnic campus on Thursday, November 16, 2023. The incident was confirmed to journalists on Friday night by a spokesman for the institution, Folake Oyinloye, who said that the development was strange in the history of the institution. Narrating the graphic detail of the death, the police boss in the statement said a preliminary investigation at the scene revealed some marks of violence on the face and neck regions of the body. The body was moved to Wale Clinic and Hospital, where the deceased was certified dead by a medical practitioner. The body of the deceased has been deposited in the mortuary for autopsy. One suspect has been apprehended in connection with the case. He is presently helping the police investigation. However, the command wishes to advise members of the public to be cautious and vigilant during this period, as evil men are prowling looking for what and who to devour. You know, we are moving. This is actually a sad story, and we are moving to the end of the year, December, whereby a lot of
Evil things.
evil things are happening, and we have the evil men who are actually moving about looking for who to devour. So
And evil women also.
even when we talk about men, it's general. It's actually general.
Yeah, but
still.
let's just put
Men
the
and women. Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Looking for who to actually devour.
Yeah.
Well, this is actually a sad one. My condolences to twins, family, and friends.
It's also a call
Hopefully-
for everybody to be very careful.
Yes, and
especially
be
the female.
very
Yes, the
vigilant,
females.
yeah.
The females. This period, flashy things. Not everything that glitters, they say is gold.
Hopefully, the policemen are actually able to get to the root and then bring justice to twins.
Moving on to other stories now, the Association of Resident Doctors Enugu chapter has given the state government a 14-day ultimatum to employ new doctors in the health institution or risk industrial action. Now, in a communique issued at its general emergency meeting and signed by the association's president, Dr. Chukwunonso Ofonere, the body resolved that there should be urgent approval for the recruitment of medical doctors, resident doctors, and house officers in the hospital, especially at the accident and emergency department, surgery department, internal medicine department, pediatrics department, obstetrics department, and gynecology department, etc. Now, according to Ofonere, the resident doctors in the aforementioned department have left the institution in the past 4 years and were never replaced. They are asking the hospital management to ensure the implementation of safety policies to protect their workers against physical attacks and kidnap within 1 week, as promised by the chief medical director, and finally, immediate implementation of the 2023 Medical Residency Training Fund as their colleagues in other states. Very pathetic situation, and if you look at the departments being mentioned here, these are very important departments in an hospital. The doctors left 4 years ago. Until now, they've not been
Able to
employ new doctors or replace these doctors. And you see the doctors complain every time of brain drain. They are doing so much work. The work that a lot of doctors are supposed to share, few doctors now are doing the same work and they are complaining. And for me, basically, it's insensitive on the part of the government of the state that doctors have left 4 years ago. Until now, they are not being replaced. It's insensitivity, basically, from the government of the state. I think Governor Mba is the new governor of Enugu State. He should see to this, because now they've threatened after 14 days, if nothing is done, they are going on a total strike in the state. Let's see how it goes. It's a developing story.
The government actually reviewed this one time. All right, moving on to the next story. And the LEA arrest wanted drug kingpin 7 years after escape from prison. The operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the LEA have apprehended a drug lord in person of Ibrahim Momo, also known as Ibrahim Bendeo, 7 years after he escaped from prison custody. The arrest occurred during a raid on Momo's hideout at Fin Dabo, the Day area of the Federal Capital Territory. This was made known in a statement signed by the Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, shared on their Facebook page on Sunday. Momo, a major distributor of illicit substances within the FCT, was initially arrested on November 27, 2014 with 385.1 kilograms of cannabis sativa. He was convicted and sentenced to 7.5 years in prison on July 22, 2015. However, he escaped Kuje's prison on May 16, 2016 while serving his sentence. This statement in part said 7 years after he escaped from the prison custody following his conviction for drug dealing, a notorious major distributor of illicit substances, within the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, Ibrahim Momo, popularly known as Ibrahim Bendel, has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency during a raid of his hideout at Findabo, Dede area of the FCT.
Now, this story, a good one from the NDLEA. At least he's been caught again, and please, this time, lightning must not strike twice.
They should be very strict on it.
He will escape the first time, and
He will surely attempt
he
to
will
do so.
attempt to do it again. So once beaten, twice shy, as it is. Okay, now moving on to other stories. A member of the House of Representatives representing Panchki, Kanke, and Kanam federal constituency in Plateau State, Yusuf Gagdi, has congratulated the Plateau State APC governorship candidate in the 2023 elections, and Tawe Goshwe, on the Court of Appeals judgment that declared him governor. It will be reported that the court appeal sitting in Abuja on Sunday nullified the election of Caleb Mutwang of the PDP as the state governor. In a unanimous judgment, the appellate court ordered INEC to withdraw Mutwang's certificate of return and give it to his APC counterpart. This is now jubilation, so much joy in the camp of the APC concerning this particular news as it popped up late yesterday concerning the court sacking the governor of the state. Now, congratulations are beginning to fly left, right, and center for the governor or the governorship candidate of the APC. But then everybody should keep calm because the case is still in court, as the governor has said he's taking the case to the Supreme Court because he's not satisfied with what the appeal court said concerning that particular issue.
All right, then moving on to the next story, which says that Buhari is not missing presidency in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's the story there. The big story, the president talking about not missing presidency, that he's not missing anything in Nigeria. He's missing it a bit. He says he's missing the presidency a bit, but not as much as he expected that he will be missing governance. He said during his time that, yes, he was really, people harassed him, using his words in an interview. He said people harassed him at a point, and he felt he should have done more. But his best was not like really good enough. That he tried his best, but his best was not good enough. So, former President Muhammadu Buhari said he's not missing. He has not missed being president.
Yes. And in his words, he says, miss. I don't think I miss much. Buhari said this while responding to a question on what he misses from his time in office in an exclusive interview with the Nigerian Television Authority, that's NTA. This was according to a promo for the interview the NTA shared on its X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Sunday. Months before handing over power, Buhari said he would not miss his time as president of Nigeria because of his best was not good enough for Nigerians. I believe I'm trying my best, but still my best is not good enough. I wonder if I'm going to miss much. I think I'm being harassed, he remarked. The full-length interview, which is Buhari's first since leaving office on May 29, 2023, will be held at 10:30 p.m. Monday. Don't worry, we'll be sure to that will bring you all the necessary details.
Yes, in case you also miss it, I think we'll be having that video. So 10:30 p.m. tonight. I think some people already posting. Oh, I miss Buhari. Oh, I wish Buhari was here. Boo, darling. Many people already missing him. Oh, Boo, we miss you. Boo, can you just come and do 1 year again? So people already. So in case you miss him tonight, 10:30 p.m. He will be.
And that's our main headline for our case study for today's program. So be sure that we'll be right back. To speak fully on that.
All right, let's move on quickly to business. On the business side of things, rice price skyrockets as local production declines. Rice consumption in the country has been on a steady rise beyond the reach of local supply, leading to a supply gap of about 2 million metric tons annually, a new report has disclosed. This has led now to an over 37% increase in the price of the commodity so far in 2023. This was revealed in Affect's wet season crop production report. The firm said rice consumption in Nigeria has been steadily increasing, aligning with the consistent growth in the rice market, nearly matching the annual population growth projection. The price of rice has been in fact, the price of rice has been on the rise. Yes, that's just the word to use. Rice has been rising. The cost of one bag of rice these days is way over 57, 58, in some places 60,000 naira for a bag of rice. We didn't start the year like that. I think the year we started buying rice was at 30,000, 35. Right now it's about 50,000 to 60,000, and it keeps rising. In fact, you that is watching right now, you can let us know how much a bag of rice costs basically in your area, because we are approaching the festive period. I will know during these times, these are the trying times that the Bible warns us about. During these times, we know that the price of rice will keep increasing because of the festive periods as it is. I'm not sure people will be buying the full bag anymore. People have started to cut their clothes.
Even those who that used to give uncooked rice for Christmas,
For Christmas.
Eve, I don't think we'll be getting
Many
that.
offices. Many offices.
For real, bag of rice and everything.
I'm sure some workers will prefer, say, oh God, don't worry, just do transfer. Bring the cash. Because in those days, they give you those small pack of rice as Christmas hamper, just to go and enjoy with the family. Some offices even will give you a bag of rice. More than that before, not be now anymore. So some will even prefer, bros. just take the cash. Those are the times we are in right now. So the price of rice is keep going up. And there's this report from Afex that from next year it would increase more. So what we are seeing right now is just like a preamble for what is yet to come. We hope that at a point rice will not turn to a scarce commodity that even the average man would not be able to afford rice. Because I'm talking on the part of a pained man that I am. I like where we used to eat normally. The rice is not rice anymore.
Yes,
Normally, if you go with like 1,000 naira, you are okay. You understand?
Rice,
those small places, we just go with 1,500. Say if you are okay.
What they are selling now, I don't even understand.
When you put rice, but now I say rice 500. You say now if it is stuff. This country. These are the things we express on a daily. But next year, they say it's going to increase more. So let's see how it goes. That's on business this morning.
Yes. Okay, then let's have the next business news this morning, which is protesting tanker drivers threaten breakaway from NUPNG. The petroleum tank drivers arm of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers on Sunday threatened to pull out of the NUPENG. The PTD declared that it would pull out of the oil union if NUPENG's National President Williams Akporia and its General Secretary Olawale Afolabi fail to resign from their positions. The tanker drivers disclosed this in a statement issued in Abuja and jointly signed by Gbenga Olawale and Adekunle Rufai of PTD Ibadan Depot. The statement said the drivers staged the protest across the country, putting plants of leaves in front of their trucks, and warned NUPENG and the police against interference and incessant harassment of their leaders. They alleged that the NUPENG president lacked the required competency to lead the union because he was not a member of the oil union. According to them, Williams was a cook in an oil company from the formal sector and was sacked from the company while holding the office of the National Treasurer of NUPENG. They further alleged that he was later drafted into the Petrol Station Workers Union of NUPENG to enable him to contest the election as NUPENG president. Yes, this, according to them, was a total departure from the constitution of NUPENG because Williams was not a worker of a pump attendant on record, as at the time he was verifying for the position of president. To this effect, they said he lacked the capacity to be the president. They further alleged that he had planted all his surrogates to collect all revenue of the union and use it for themselves.
This is now a body inside fighting wants to start causing problem for the general public. Politics everywhere, politics even in unions, and by this union, I'm begging them in the name of whatever they are worshiping, they should not going on a strike is not what the country needs right now from them, because no matter how NUPENG is a very big body, and I'm sure that they will not want this to happen because it will have severe effects on the masses as it regards fuel consumption and supply, basically, because the National Union of Petroleum Employees and natural gas workers, they are a union. The tanker drivers, if these tanker drivers down their tools, we know supply would be affected, basically, in the country. All right, so that being said, let's read some comments coming in from some of you, even as we go on with the program this morning, the Sports Kingdom. Thank you very much. You said Baba the cap in the miss power, but in just happy because he now have peace of mind.
Are you saying Baba no get that's Buhari didn't have peace of mind while he was in power?
And now he's listening to Rema here. I'm looking for some peace of mind. He has peace of mind right now. Now you cook it go still rise. And now you cook it go still rise. Okay, rice have been rising for real, my brother. It has been rising. It's now. I think it's now we understand the meaning of rice.
How much is bag of rice in your area?
How much are you buying the bag of rice? Let's see if we can send Kofu down to your area to come and buy if it's cheap in your side.
Yeah, so please, if it's cheap, I'll come.
All right, let's move on right now to a bit of entertainment here this morning as it regards Nigerian artist Bella Shmurda has appealed to the police to release the remains of his late friend Iliri Aloba, popularly known as Mohbad. Now, taking to his ex account, that was on Saturday, Bella Shmurda expressed concern over the prolonged delay in the release of Mohbad's body, which has been held for autopsy for the past 2 months. He appealed to the police to expedite the process and release the body to facilitate a dignified funeral arrangement. Additionally, Bella Shmurda requested the prompt disclosure of the autopsy report. It's been over 2 months already. This particular case, the boy's body was had to be brought out from exhumed from the ground. Over 2 months for autopsy. We've been waiting to hear the report. It's been over 2 months. Nobody's saying anything concerning the body. The body is just there. And also the father has said that before the boy is buried, as the father, he has to give the approval. So, but the police should, tell us, speak to the people. What are the reports? It's been over 2 months. By now, we should be getting answers. What do you find in the autopsy? And if that is being done, let's move on to the next stage. What is the next stage? What is going to happen? Then if the burial is going to happen, let's move on from this case, because this matter should not drag to the end of this year, for crying out loud. So they know that, the boy's body can finally rest. But basically, let's see how it goes. Naira Marley, Sam Larry has been granted bail. They've met the bail that was given to them. They've met the conditions of the bail, and they have been released. So let's move on to other issues, please.
Yes. Then we have foreign news this morning, which is ever going back. The Israelis evacuated from border town with Lebanon, fear war with Hezbollah. It should be the height of tourist season in Tiberias, an Israeli city on the western shore of the Sea of Galilee, where the New Testament says many of Jesus' miracles were actually performed.
Hallelujah.
But instead of pilgrims, thousands of Israelis evacuated from communities close to the Lebanese border have arrived in Tiberias, swelling the city population by 20%. Mayor Boaz Yosef told the CNN. He described the evacuation as the biggest movement of the Israelis in decades. In the weeks since Hamas launched its attack on Israel, a low-intensity conflict has been raging in the north of the country as crossfire between Israel and Lebanon-based militants becomes increasingly deadly. A Reuters journalist is among the civilians who have been killed on the Lebanese side of the border. And last Sunday, an employee of an Israeli electric supplier was killed in a strike by an anti-tank missile in the Israeli border town of Dovev. Like it sounds, Israel's northern border area has been emptying after the defense ministry ordered the mandatory evacuation of more than 40 communities there in October. There are fears of a full-blown confrontation with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon that would open up a dangerous new front in the war. Wow, several of Dove's evacuees who have been living in Tiberias for a month said that they may never be ready to return to their Mus'haf, that's their corporate communities. Yes, yes, that is that on the Israelis, the Israel and Hamas fight. The Israelis evacuated from the border town with Lebanon fear with Hezbollah.
Yeah, hopefully this fight
Actually
goes down
Yeah.
because it's taking like forever, and then the death toll keeps on increasing as it is. It's just increasing as it is. Hopefully, a final resolution will come towards that particular one. Now, finally, let's touch on sports this morning. Wingless Eagles record another team draw against Zimbabwe. The bottom line of the story is Super Eagles played out a 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe. As it is, we tried as much as possible to make sure that it will not happen again. What happened against Lesotho would not happen again. But then it happened against Zimbabwe. Playing out a 1-1 draw. World Cup qualifiers now looks shaky in a game possibly that would have taken 6 points from 2 matches. The Super Eagles managed just 2 points. And the head coach of the team, Jose Peserio, is coming out to lament that the boys were tired from traveling, blah, blah, blah. So many things that he was saying, basically, talking about the head coach of the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Jose Peserio. The only goal of the game was scored by Kelechi Iheanacho, making it 1-1. So we'll wait for other matches to come in the group. We'll take on the likes of South Africa. We'll take on the likes of Benin Republic in the same group. So we have our work cut out for us, basically, as it is right now. All right, so that is it on some of the trending stories that we've brought to you this morning. So before we go on a short break, don't forget, when we come back, we'll be going into our big topic for today. Emmanuel, them don't use politics, spoil that boy case, talking about Mohbad. Yeah, it is what it is. But then hopefully the police would come out to say something concerning this particular issue as it is. We'll be going for a short break. When we come back, we'll be talking just briefly about what the president, Muhammadu Buhari, former president Muhammadu Buhari said. He said,
I don't miss presidency much.
We'll be right back after the break. Don't go anywhere. This is still Lagos this morning.
100 Nereko, Estambaseko.
You're welcome back to Flip TV. This is still Lagos this morning. My name is Ebuka Izubika.
And my name is Kofela Drutimuke.
Alright, we've been talking so much, yeah, Kofo.
So yeah, right about now we're moving to our main headline. I don't miss presidential much, says Buhari. What do you think about that?
Now, it's easy. Trust me, he misses presidency. He misses
Of course. The
power. No matter how he wants to package it, the travels. The tourism, but then again, he might not be missing Nigerians because he mentioned something before handing over. There was an interview he mentioned something about. He said it is.
He tried his best.
Yes, he tried his best. Was not good
enough
that Nigerians keep harassing him.
Yeah.
But then again, there was another interview. He said something that was very interesting. He said it was more easier to control his cows than control Nigerians.
Nigerians.
Yeah, he said it was more easy.
Small.
Once you see I'm sure you've seen the headsmen. Once they just hit the one, all of them goes towards one direction.
But you see Nigerians.
But Nigeria, you
people,
Kofo, you people.
No, we are all
people.
together. It can never be like that. You hit one goes like this, the other will also, always cut.
The cows are always good, but Nigeria, you people, you watching you. Yeah, and
people are really showed boo-boo.
Nah, it's not missing you people anymore.
It's not missing you people.
So, but then, what do you feel concerning statements? They say, mobolo.
Like how they say it in Yoruba. Ọlọ́run ti yọ mí kúrò lórí. So you get.
Uriyomi, Enikpami. So he said, I don't miss presidency much because really there are so many things to think about. You are solving. Do you know the number of issues Nigerians have?
Well, they say on easy lies the head that wears the crown.
You
I
understand?
believe you going for presidency, you should understand what it's about and you know what you're getting yourself involved in.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably. It's something like what you ordered for and what they delivered to you. He might not know that is this kind of that. These problems are much like this. It's
Yeah.
when you enter inside,
But at the same time, you cannot enter water, cold water now. You now start shivering for cold. You entered it, so you just have to try to survive through it.
Anyways, Emmanuel says, according to Sports Kingdom, na power him miss. Okay, but he just miss the power. Okay, Emmanuel, na Jonathan go talk this thing where I go believe.
Yeah, because during Jonathan time, Nigeria show Jonathan.
But then again, he say he doesn't miss. He has done his ACS complete here.
Yeah.
So now Jonathan go talk this thing. So why you not go, Emmanuel? Why you not go believe Buhari if he talk? As he talk, now why you not believe him basically? He said that Jonathan go talk this thing where I go believe. So does that mean that Buhari cannot miss?
Well, if you look at it in Buhari's words, he said miss. I don't think I miss much. That means he missed a little. He did not miss much. He missed a little. So what's the little that Buhari actually missed? Is it power? Is it solving the cases? Is it the conferences, the outings? I mean,
there's so many things. Everything is basically at your beck and call.
Yeah.
You have the power to do so many things. You have the power to, you're just there. But I think he just misses the power. But then there's so many issues to handle. Talk about insecurity. You talk about lights. You talk about infrastructures. You talk about the economy.
All the draggings. When we look at the draggings Nigerians actually do for Buhari during this time.
There's so many things that even
so much.
Tinubu is already complaining. When I think in one of his during the campaign, he said, I don't look at social media. They've insulted the hell out of me. He said it there.
Nigerians are not playing.
Yeah. I know they believe anything. In that man. Even himself no fit be Buhari. Now, wow, Emmanuel, you drag this matter 8 years rich now. What's wrong with you? Anyways, as it is, basically.
Well, don't you guys miss Buhari? Don't you miss Buhari? There was a time some people took it to, the social media saying, we miss Boo Boo. Please come back. Even if you say,
Somebody
back.
wrote, my dearly beloved Boo Boo.
That was when the early time when Tinubu came into power, and then he moved the fuel subsidy.
And the price of fuel and everything increased.
So people really lamented, saying, Boo Boo, we missed you.
We miss you, Boo Boo. Because there's always this same.
I think it's Buhari replying to our comments saying that I did not miss it. Don't give me peace during my time.
I'm just trying to say, when they say Boo Boo, they are missing you. Ooh, I don't miss you now. Basically, because we are saying it at the point, jokingly, we are saying that nobody will miss Buhari, nobody will miss. But then it's still early days yet in this present government. But then during looking back, I'm sure you'll be looking back like, okay, this and this I should have done. He was like, yes, I should have done some other things that I didn't do. So I'm not really happy. But then I don't really miss much about presidency. I don't really miss much. Anyways, President Muhammadu Buhari, we thank you for your service to humanity. Yeah. We thank you for your service to the country. And we know low-key, you miss us. You miss our dragons. You miss us. You miss presidency. You miss those things.
And do you miss him?
Well, I miss his speech, basically. I like it when he comes to talk to us. Fellow Nigerians, I assure you. He likes to assure us. He has been. He assured us for 8 years, and I really miss. I'm always one that waits for his press conferences when he wants to address the nation. I'm always one person that I always like to sit in front. I look forward to it. In fact, tonight 10:30 p.m. This interview that he mentioned it. They said tonight by 10:30 p.m. You can watch it by 10:30 p.m. So trust me that I will be watching out for that interview, and also I would like to hear some other perspective to other things that's been said on that interview. And tomorrow we'll come to dissect, because we know there'll be so many talking points from that particular interview.
Yes. Yeah, Buhari, Muhammadu Buhari, thank you very much for your service. It's, I think I would say, not so wonderful, but it was a good time. Yes. Unfortunately, we would love to continue with the program, but time is not with us. So we've come to the end of today's program of Lagos this morning, where we've discussed from the politics aspects to business to foreign to entertainment. Yes, and we discussed about the statement that was made by Buhari. Yes, we want to thank our viewers for actually staying with us all through the program, our dear esteemed viewers across the globe. Mr. Dan, Sports Kingdom, Emmanuel, Anna Bob, Amechi, Emma Samuel.
Yeah.
Thank you all very much for joining. Yes, it's a new week.
Majid and Gideon.
Yeah,
Not
Majid
forgetting.
and Gideon. Thank you very much. Yes, and as we all know, it's a brand new week. We wish you all a great week ahead. You should create new beginnings and seize every opportunity that actually come your way. May this week be blessed with positive energy, wonderful surprises, and moments that will makes you smile.
All right, until we meet again tomorrow, make the best out of today. My name is Ibuka Izobika. Thank you so much. And also thank you to Silva pressing the right buttons to make sure that this goes through. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And my name is Kofrela Durutimiuke. Bye for now.
Peace. 100 naira. Let's